breaking the age-old stereotype, more women are entering the technology industry and helping the country move forward in the digital age. We talked to one of those female leaders on The Final Word, GCash Chief Technology and Operations Officer, Pebbles C. Pebbles, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Tell us, how did this all start, your career in technology? Did you really want to pursue it as a career?
Well, for me, it actually was a practical choice. I mean, this was in the early 90s, and I thought there was more potential and that I would have more career options if I took up computer science, right? I mean, I didn't know what I was getting into. But most of the students in my class actually had computer backgrounds, and I had to work doubly hard to catch up, and I almost gave up. But it's a good thing I didn't, because I was right? I mean, I spent most of my career in product management, where my technology background was really useful.
You made the right choice, Pebbles, because technology is here to stay, and it is the future. And, STEM, or the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, has always been labeled as a traditionally male-dominated industry. Do we need more women in technology? Because as I can see right now in GCash, the top two bosses are women, you and Martha Sazon, who is the CEO of GCash.
Well, the answer is still yes, definitely, right? I mean, despite significant improvements in the last few years, women are still underrepresented in science and technology, both in the academic and the private sector, and that needs to change. I mean, how we think of problems, and specifically science problems, affects everyone. By equipping more women with tools and the skills to innovate, we also diversify the range of solutions and breakthroughs, because women look at problems differently than men typically do, right? That means we're increasing the number of people working on problems and who are working to disrupt industries.
Do you think that there's also a lack of women in mathematics, engineering, technology, computer science, because there's also a lack of role models?
That's one reason, yes, right? I mean, studies show that girls start to lose interest in STEM subjects as early as the fourth grade, around 9 or 10 years old. And I think that's because from a young age, girls are normalized into thinking that they're not as good in maths and sciences, and that only men can do well in these careers. So they need to see other women who pursue their dreams and succeeded. By providing girls with women they can look up to, they can begin to understand and imagine their own possibilities.
And of course, a key role model there will be Pebbles and Martha Sazon of GCash. But throughout your career in technology, Pebbles, what kind of challenges did you have to overcome as a female tech executive?
You know, Rico, I've been fortunate that throughout my career, I've never really felt that I was held back because of my gender. In fact, like you said, not just me and Martha, I mean, half of our employees are actually women. Of course, key roles, including our CEO, Martha, myself, our chief legal officer, our chief strategy officer, compliance officer, are all women. And that's not because we had diversity targets. We simply hire the best people while still being conscious of the gender balance in our teams, right? In fact, I don't support hiring women just to meet diversity targets. I think that's prejudicial, and it's just, set us back. But I would like to see more women in IT and more female tech leaders in the country.
And with all of the women combined right now in GCash, you are indeed empowering women in the technology space.
Well, yes, but while half of the population in GCash are women, and then several of my key leaders in the technology team are also women, only a third of our tech resources are women. And I want to change that, right? I mean, at GCash, I mentor several women, and along with other leaders, we try to provide a safe space for women to openly discuss their goals and their challenges, and really encourage them to aspire for leadership roles. I think it's really the lack of awareness that women can thrive in the tech space. But you know what? Generally, I don't differentiate between men and women when it comes to development, right? I mean, for instance, we have what we call GCash FinTech Engineering Cadetship Program. It's a 7-month intensive and comprehensive training program that offers technical training and development for aspiring, tech professionals. I do think that GCash continues to be successful because we really value ideas from people of diverse backgrounds.
Absolutely. And you are a role model for gender equality and women empowerment. What is your advice to women who are considering a tech career and, who want to succeed in the corporate world?
I say, don't be afraid to take risks. When an opportunity presents itself, take it. I mean, when I mentor young leaders and not just women, I tell them, you should allow yourself to be in uncomfortable situations. Personally, that's when I learn the most, and that's where you grow, right? And for women, own your strengths. I mean, women make great leaders because we're resilient, and we're great multitaskers because we're so used to wearing multiple hats, right? Many hats. And women are empathetic, and we have higher emotional intelligence. I hope you don't disagree with that. But
I
this
agree. I
this
totally agree.
but that because of that, that really allows us to express ourselves more effectively and build trust and care for our teams. It also allows us to cope with pressure and handle crisis well. But in addition to paving your own path, I mean, women supporting one another is also one of the things that I believe would make the biggest difference. It's really women advocating not only for themselves, but also for each other.
Thank you so much for being an inspiration not only to women but to also men. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. GCash Chief Technology and Operations Officer, Pebbles C.